Hello? So, before we go to our session, the synchronous session for this afternoon, let me know if you have successfully uploaded your part 3 and part 4 or na-verify ba ninyo, na-validate ninyo na you have attached the file or walay nakabutang na missing file or mga tawag ito, unuploaded documents. So I hope na for now it's okay na ha this time. I also uploaded an announcement sa atong classroom. It's about the deliverable of our programmers, the main programmer and the support programmer. For this Google form, kasi Google form yung nakalagay, I want you to submit only one form lang, no? So each group will just fill out one form. So yung dalawang programmer should talk, no? The main and support programmers should talk. Who's the one who will upload the um, mga deliverable. I s- posted also the due date for that. I can give you up to 9 p.m. today, and that's only for programmers. Okay? Sa mga wala na kay balo, for your information, programmers were given a different set of questions for the midterm, set of tasks for the midterm exam. So, yung Google form na yan is only for programmers alone. Okay? So, we will now proceed to our topic for this afternoon. Actually, this topic was supposedly part of our midterm coverage. However, due to some time constraints, um, we will be having this Kanban digital board or Kanban board as a tool for project management tool, project management development, or a tool for project management. And this digital Kanban board will be used as my um, basis, no, for the contributions of each member sa team for your final grades. And for your information, 40% of your final exam will be coming from this Kanban activity. Okay? So mamaya I'll give you some details. The 60% will be 60% will be coming from the evaluator. Ayan. You're supposed to present a application uh, 2 weeks after. No, in the next 2 weeks you will be able to submit your final application idea as well as your minimum viable product to an external evaluator. So 60% will be coming from that evaluation, 40% will be coming from this Kanban activity. So I'll explain the details later. For now, the let's go back to agile development method. We all know that agile performs iterative compared to waterfall that performs linear. Now, what's the difference in waterfall? No, there are steps that you need to implement, that you need to have it completed before you can proceed to the next step. So that's they call it a sequential, no, sequential um, workflow. So sequential steps. Even it's a minor changes or any alterations to the plan, you need to go back from which particular step that you need to update, and then you will no, do the review and adjustment all throughout the steps that have been affected. Comparing it to agile, you are will given uh, a free option, no, a very flexible development pattern wherein you can always apply iterations. That means if you miss something, you only need to go back to a particular task and you need to update only that task. No? And the other tasks that have not been affected will remain as is. Yun. So this afternoon we'll talk about some tools how to better manage your project. No, given a chance to be part of a software development, siguro later in your career, there will be always a discussion about what will be the means or the environment on how to properly manage a team. Ayan. So this afternoon session will be most likely dedicated to all project leaders. And of course, may makukuha din tayo lahat ng every one of us here, the members, the testers, content organizers, graphic designers, even the programmers. Kasi this is the only way that you can somehow uh, can I call it visually overview? No, you can visually overview your project and properly document it. So what's actually good on my side here is this is my way on how to check the contribution of each of the members sa team. If you remember it properly during the assignment of the members, no, to a particular group, I see to it that this member will not be able to just sit there, no, and just wait if their classmates have already been finished. No, I'm working it out properly here that using this knowledge that we'll be able to get from this afternoon, I we can document the project workflow properly. Okay, so kung ano yung sinasabi ko, let me introduce a topic about Kanban. Regarding the link, you can see the link sa attendance number 9 na to, no? So I'll just, wait, wait lang. Or also I can give you it today. Okay. Okay. Mr. Katukunan is asking about screenshot. Main class, yes. Um, are you referring to the codes? Yes, it's more of some proof, no? Maybe if you're doing, if you can see or provide a proof or screenshot na you have a code, tapos split design, you have something like parang a preview of the application that may also work as well. This afternoon, I will be using this reference coming from Atlassian. And so you can have your own browse to the link. And right now, ayan, I just use my shared screen. Is my screen clear to you guys? You need to adjust lang para ma-center ko dito sa screen. Ayan. Okay, so what is a Kanban board? It's a it's an agile project management tool designed to help visualize work, limit work in progress, and maximize efficiency. So mamaya pag-uusapan nating tatlo na yan. But the main idea of why do we need Kanban board? It's for the team to have an easy communication tool and also an easy way to visualize the entire flow of your project at saka ma-measure ninyo kung the progress. No? You can measure the progress of a particular project using Kanban approach. Well, if you ask, is there are any or are they any uh, options as of now aside from Kanban? The answer is yes. No, we have Scrum as also one popular option for that. However, Kanban is quite let me say uh, very friendly to those who are starting to not to develop their career in software development, and this is also a must for a junior developer or any aspirant developer and an aspirant team leader. Kasi the thing that we will be doing in a Kanban board is we will work no, detail by detail and specifically we can assign somebody to do a task and let the Kanban board inform us that whatever improvement of the task must be also well documented. So if you compare this one before, they are using the no, paper and pen, no, the traditional filing of folders. No, that you can go to a drawer, tapos the drawer will have also an organization of that folder. Then, yun. If you just compare how accessible, no, uh, the 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 approach in the answer to the traditional setup is really the way we collaborate even in remote setup, and this is basically good in our setup in the new normal that we are facing right now. So let me just go back here. It can also help both agile and DevOps methodology approach. This establish order in their daily work. So imagine you are part of the team, tapos uh, di ba, it's really hard na for example, you have to um, you just no open your computer, tapos you know that you are part of a project, tapos it's just come to parang in a particular moment you just try to think sa gito kung buhaton uh di ba, even you're lost of the track of the entire progress flow, and you just also want to know what would be the consequences if ever you don't have you have not yet finished a particular task. So this particular setup, no, the whole Kanban methodology approach will really give the entire project, no, as well as the members, a boost to the development, and yun, it can be also give a more tawag natin a more clearer to the vision or goal that the project want to achieve. I will be showing you right now a video from Atlassian. So I will share this one. Let me know if check play ko muna yung video guys tapos okay, let me know if madunggan ninyo. How about this? Okay, sige. Kayo na lang mag-adjust ng volume nyo dyan. I will make this one, um, i-volume up ko lang para kayo na um, adjust. Yan. Baka kasi mahina yung volume ng iba, kahit naka-full na. Ayan. Let's listen to this guy, guys. This guy will talk about Kanban board and how this Kanban board help them to succeed, no, in their own project development. So, yeah, let's listen to this one. Watch and listen to this video.
A Kanban board is a project management tool designed to help you visualize your work using cards, columns, and specific commitment and delivery points to help you understand how your work flows so you can get your work done. I'm Max, a PMM on Jira Software, and I manage all of my projects with a Kanban board. In fact, this video series is managed on a Kanban board. In a lot of ways, if you're watching this video on the internet right now, Kanban boards work. We're going to start our discussion talking about the elements of a Kanban board. Basically, what you should have on your board to make sure it helps you manage your work. Now, there are two philosophies about this. The first is by David Anderson, who popularized the Kanban method. The Kanban method is largely responsible for taking Kanban from a manufacturing process into software. And David Anderson defines 5 key elements of a Kanban board. One of the first things you'll notice about a Kanban board are the visual signals, cards, stickies, tickets, or otherwise. Kanban teams write all of their work items onto cards, usually 1 item per card. For agile software teams, you can think of these as 1 user story per card. Cards help teammates and stakeholders get a glance at what everyone is working on at one time. Another hallmark of the Kanban board are the columns. Columns represent a specific activity that together compose a workflow. Cards flow through the workflow until completion. Workflow.
Okay, let's pause on that. So Max is telling us that for us to create a Kanban board, we need to understand the entire Kanban environment. No, so the element for a Kanban, we need to understand that the Kanban requires a column, which represents the set of activities that we'll be able to do for the entire project, and a card. No, this card represents a scenario, a use case of a particular activity. Yan. The other one is yung workflow. Tama? So you have a workflow that the allow us to be informed visually of what happened or what will be the actual status of a particular use case or sa scenario, at saka ano yung current na pwede nating gawin on that uh, case or a card. So I just want you to take note of the terminologies, guys, no? This moment. Kasi mamaya pagagawa kayo ipapagawa kayo ng isang Kanban board. Okay? So meanwhile, um some stuff that we need to know, that everything that we are looking at here, no, can be achievable via physical board or digital board. So in our setup right now, physical board is something like very challenging kasi now it can it's something like may issue tayo sa social distancing. So digital board will be now our alternative on this, no? Pero based on my experience, no, it's more likely interactive if all of the team members are inside of one room and then they are doing Kanban approach. No, they are using the Kanban board in a physical environment along with the members that are physically present during a particular time. So let's just listen to this guy and how do we be able to understand more about a Kanban board, no? But later there will be another video that will give us or enlighten us to use the Kanban board in a digital environment. So I'm sure you're familiar with Trello or Jira. These are the popular tools right now for Kanban. Um, you have any questions so far? Let me just know though. Um, Post your uh, coolest emoticon out there. Tingnan natin if you're still listening. Thank you. Okay, as I said earlier, project leaders, you should be able to take down notes, no? And the whole session is basically kayo dapat yung guide, no? For your members for this. But again, members should always be also paying attention to the video, to the learning na makukuha natin ngayon kasi at the end of the day, after we graduate, we will not be able to know if you're still a tester, if you're still a programmer. Baka given a chance, you will be assigned in a project and then they will ask you to lead. And by having this particular knowledge, um, let me help you to to look at some alternatives on how to properly manage the project environment, project workflow, using this Kanban approach. Okay, let's resume.
Flows can be as simple as to do, in progress, and done, or much more complex. Two important components of a workflow are the commitment point and the
Let me just go back a little. Wait.
Another hallmark of the Kanban board are the columns. Columns represent a specific activity that together compose a workflow. Cards flow through the workflow until completion. Workflows can be as simple as to do, in progress, and done, or much more complex. Two important
Hello guys. I think I forgot to unmute my audio. Oh my. All right. I was talking from the yun pag nung nag-pause ang video. Okay. Let me just go back. May narinig kayo kanina o ba ngayon lang? Okay. Apologies. No, no. Eto, I supposed to pause right now. I just go back na. Medyo taas-taas to. Uh, I supposedly want to post here kasi you are looking at to-dos in progress and done as the basic workflow of a Kanban board. So other setup guys, it's more than three. No, na sila'y unom, na sila'y pito ka buok activities sa ilahang workflow. So I am asking the team leaders right now to work on this, no? Identify what will be your list of activities. Um, this will be your basic and your you can work on top of this, no? Yung basic example, basic template ng workflow na you need to identify the list of your to-dos, no? So ibutang nimo sa imong column, magbutang kag mga cards na mga use cases kung unsa to yung mga trabahoon sa entire project development. There will be also a an activity for in progress. This in progress activity will be the cards na expected na inyong ibutang dira is katong mga use cases na na-identify ninyo previously na you are trying to make use to make it be implemented, no? Parang you're currently working on that, and then it should not be in place in other activity. It should be placed in progress activity, no? Something like this. As soon as you have finished the in progress or any use case on the in progress activity, and that's the time that you can, no, move it to the done activity. No, ito yung mga cards, yung use cases na sinasabi ko kanina guys, to. Yung mga use cases na yan will travel, no, from one activity to another. So this will gives us an idea on what is the progress of your um, feature of certain feature of your system. Did you get that one? So team leaders should be able to talk to the members later and allows them to contribute, no? If since we are just I will be just asking you a demo later, no, as a part of our activity, graded activity today. If ever wala kayong makitang ibang template for a workflow, you are looking at right now a basic Kanban workflow template, no? Na may tatlong activities, to do, in progress, at saka done. Tapos later you can use yung sa usability inspection na ginawa natin ng mga scenarios, 'di ba? You identified scenarios in each goal. Goals can be also possible candidate cards. No, they can be created as a card. It always depends on your perspective. However, scenarios are a must. Yung mga identify ninyo na scenario dun sa cognitive walkthrough, I think there should have a place there on your Kanban board later. Okay? Um, I'll be also announcing some important information or sorry, details later, ano. Just reserve na lang pag nasa respective breakout rooms na kayo. Meanwhile, let's just finish this. And yeah, that's somehow the idea of a Kanban board.
More complex. Two important components of a workflow are the commitment point and the delivery point. Kanban teams often have a backlog for their board, where customers and teammates put ideas for new projects that the team can pick up. The commitment point is the moment when a team picks up one of those projects and work begins. The delivery point is the end of a Kanban team's workflow. For most teams, this is when the product or service is in the hands of the customer or done. The time that it takes to get from the commitment point to the delivery point is called lead time. Lastly, WIP limits. WIP, or work in progress limits, are simple mechanisms to limit the number of cards in any one column at any one time. Kanban teams find that by limiting work in progress, they actually move projects through the board in a more timely manner. Those 5 components, as described by David Anderson, are more than enough to manage the flow of work with a Kanban board. There's another philosophy, however, that's much simpler. Let's walk. This second philosophy is personal Kanban by Jim Benson and Tony. In personal Kanban, there are only 2 rules: visualize your work and limit work in progress, however you see fit. Personal Kanban is great for boards that maybe only you contribute to, or a small team, simple workflow. The simplest Kanban boards are physical boards where teams divide their workflow into vertical columns. They take a whiteboard or a blackboard and they mark up the board, filling each column with sticky notes. The sticky notes then flow through the workflow to demonstrate progress. The advantage of a physical board is super easy to set up. The second reason that I love physical boards is they're so tangible and fun. Kanban helps you visualize your work. The thing about this colored sticky note and moving it from one column to the other that is so motivating and easy to engage with. If you're starting to visualize your work, you might as well start with a physical board. Digital boards are preferable for a whole host of reasons. The first is that if your team is remote or distributed, not all in the same building, then you really want to have a digital board. You want everyone to have equal access to the information and be able to access it from anywhere. Second is that digital boards are just plain fast. If you've ever used Jira or Trello, you know that you can create boards and columns and cards in seconds. Lastly, digital boards like Jira come complete with all the data and information you need to make informed decisions about how your team is working. While it's not impossible with physical boards, being able to analyze WIP, cumulative flow diagrams, cycle time, and many more with just a click or 2 is a huge advantage over physical boards. Those are the key things you want to look for in a digital board. We've included a link in the description for a tutorial of how to make your first board in Jira software. My mentor, Zach Neese, gave me great advice for how teams should get started with Kanban boards. He shared that teams should start with a physical board built on a whiteboard or a window with Sharpies and pens and sticky notes. This physical board is going to be a great conversation starter. People will walk up to the board and look at it and start these conversations about how you work, about how you write these cards, about how you move work through these columns. These early conversations are going to lead to some changes in your workflow, and those changes are essential to getting Kanban right. Once you understand how your work flows, you're ready to graduate to a digital tool like Trello or Jira. These tools are going to help you measure your progress, and you'll be able to share your workflow with people outside of your immediate location. And when you're ready to do that, we can help.
Okay. Do you have any questions about the first video presentation? Before we proceed to okay, before we proceed to the what do you call this one? Um, the next video about the Trello, I just want you to ito, I just want you to look at the screen. Klaro, makita ba ninyo guys? This guy here is presenting as a physical, an example of a physical Kanban board. Using whiteboard and sticky notes and a marker, something like that. Can you see that? Okay. Please put attention on the sticky notes na nilagay niya on a column called test number 2. Well, these are just their own list of activities, no? Na sila lang yung nag-decide. According to some articles that if you are really dedicated to work on your own project, no, you might want to have your customized workflow environment. So, ibig sabihin nun, dapat kayo-kayo talaga yung humahanap ng paraan kung ano yung ilang activities yung gagawin niyo. Ibig sabihin nun, ilang columns yung ma-involve, no, sa buong project development. So let's just look at this again. Go back to this example here. This guy is holding the second sticky note for the column test number 2. Ano yung napansin nyo dito sa column number 2, guys? Any difference ba from this column number 2 compared to bakit mo nasabi limited, Mr. Gulanes? Ayan. Uh, I see. Thank you. Thank you, Jen. Thank you din, Jen. Well, it's very obvious that you have a marker, no? Dito sa baba ng column na test number 2. Why do you think they have that marker? Why do you think they need to limit? No, they need to limit a card or a certain use case on that particular activity. Anyone? Jeno said, murag end part sa pag-test, sir. Not not exactly. Um, pero you're there, ha. You're somehow on the idea. Mr. Gulanes, para ma-ensure sir na mahuman gyud to, dili magsabay. Okay? Mhm. Well, that's the most likely the answer for that. Same with the idea ni Miss Villaflores. Dalawang testing lang dapat, sir. You said you are limited, no? Yes. Oo. Oh, well, that means, no, I think they are also referring to their availability, no, to the resources that they have. Let's say human resources. How many human testers or how many client testers are they have there during the entire development of particular time. So this limitation of a particular column, no, it will always depend on the activity and will always depend on no, the flow, no, of the entire project. So it's easy to, no, it's really easy to move card to one another, diba? To one column to the other column. But as you can see here, no, by just mainly um, putting your attention, no, and focusing more on the tawag natin dito yung details, no, that we need to see that it's not just more of moving one card to the other from one column to the other. It's more likely moving, no, your parang progress, no, the exact progress to the exact status, na, di ba? So ganun. So let's say very limited lang yung resources on this project in this example screenshot right now. That's why they need to limit stuff. They need to limit some activities. Um, well, if you want to add to-dos here, no, yung nakita nyo kanina na to-dos activity, to-dos activity is more of identifying, di ba? Ibig sabihin nun, parang nag-uusap-usap pa lang kayo. Sinasabi ninyo na ano pa yung kailangan natin gawin. So ilalagay natin sa to-dos. And then these to-dos are something like you need to um, uh, I have a Kanban board, no, na na-experience before. Let me share this one to you. We have 6 columns, if I remember it correctly. The first 2 columns is about to-dos. To-dos lang ha, to-dos na proposed at saka yung to-dos na accepted. Well, that means everything that we come out on our idea, any idea that comes out sa mga una-una, we put it immediately sa first column. And then we try to examine it along with the entire group unanimously. If unanimously they something like accept it, no, the idea that have been placed on that first column na to do, in that way it can be elevated or moved to the second column, and only on that second column that will be treated as final. Did you get that? So mamaya gagawin natin 'yan. I will ask you to, no, to do some demo on Kanban. But before we go to the Kanban, let us identify particular tool. I know some of you here are very familiar with this tool, no? Kasasabi ng ni Max kanina, yung presenter, na digital boards are very helpful in terms of the continuation of collaboration of each group, whether they are remotely located, no, something like that. So we all need this in this time of crisis right now. And Trello will be one of our suggested and recommended digital Kanban board that we will be using all throughout our finals. So allow me to share this video for Trello. No, it's about Kanban board in the environment, total environment, the complete environment of Trello. Okay, are we all up? Still there, guys? Sige. Okay, good to hear that. Yan. Sana huwag kayong mag-AFK ha. Kasi baka may mga part na you need to ask immediately. I hope I can attend that one also. Answer that one. Okay? But konti lang yung nag-respond. Naka 20 naman tayo. Anyways, let me just check na lang later. Okay, ito yung last video natin before we can have our activity.
You made it. Welcome to Trello. Let's start with the basics so you can be on your way to becoming a pro in no time. In this video, I'll show you Trello and its key features in a to-do, doing, and done workflow. First off, this is your Trello board. It starts off simple It becomes a powerhouse as you add lists and cards. Your board is the bird's eye view of an entire project. It's your visual workflow where you can see your various lists, cards, and project stakeholders. You can easily add a list like this. Each list is a column that can hold cards. List names can be personalized. Each list houses cards. The cards represent individual tasks in your workflow. Click Add another card on the list to create a card. A card details all of your important information for a task. Each one can be customized and updated and move through your lists until it reaches done. Let's take a look at this board. It's a classic to-do list structure. To do, doing, and done. You can create a separate card in your to-do list for every task you need to tackle. As you work on each task, you can move them along to indicate your progress. Got started on that report? Drag and drop that card to your doing list. And when you finish that report, hop it over to the most exciting list, the done list. Nice. Now take a moment to pat yourself on the back, my friend. With this simple workflow, you'll be cruising through your to-do list in no time. Sometimes you need to provide more detail on a task, especially when you're collaborating with others. This is where the card back comes in and the features of Trello truly shines. Simply click on your card and you'll see a variety of ways to add more context and detail. You can write a short or long description. In this menu on the right, there are several gems. Click Members to assign this task to whoever on your team needs to collaborate, review, or help you finalize it. Set a due date and time for when the task is due. Click Label to customize colored labels to give your tasks more context. Click Checklist to create a more detailed list of action items. You can even leave comments with updates and feedback on your cards so your team can always see what you're thinking. Get some perspective on your tasks at a glance. Let's take a closer look at what you can see on the front of each card. The front of your card can give you a clue as to what details are living on the card. Attachments, members involved, and even checklist progression. Sometimes processes and priorities change. Trello is as flexible as you are and can be easily customized. It's easy as pie to move around, add, or remove lists so your workflow can better suit you. Your board looks fantastic. Virtual high five. With all of these tasks to accomplish, you're going to need some help. Now that you've learned the ropes, let's invite your teammates to the awesome board you've created. Go to Invite and choose the folks you need to share your board with. Get them excited to start collaborating by writing a personal message that will go straight to their inbox. Boom! Your tasks, your team, and your workflow, all in one place. No matter the project, Trello makes it easy to work better together.
Okay, I hope is that clear. Okay, guys. Well, very informative video. I hope you got something about out of that. Do you have any questions, guys, about Trello Kanban board? Okay, for this activity, yes, you can have your own Jira or other similar for Trello. Make sure that it will para fair. You make sure that it follow the Kanban approach so that my rubrics for the entire final isa lang for the rest of the other groups. Well, if you have enough, no, if you have enough tawag natin dito. I believe Monday have a different tawag natin prices na prices they can offer. Uh, if you have enough resources, so be it. Yeah. I'm recommending right now Trello kasi I see some articles that's na aside from it's free and open source. They do still. No, I'm not an endorser, but just the article no, just gives us gives me no an enlightenment about this that the no compared to other alternatives, it's more likely the ayan, yun nga. Uh, less yung naka-hide na mga features. I don't know if you have trial na mga free trial accounts from other alternatives, but I guess in Trello it's ayun, I mean it's as long as Trello is uh no na nasa naka-online, um all basic features are for free. Just feel free to look for any alternatives. Make sure it's a Kanban. No, it has a similar to Kanban approach. Okay. This time, guys, I want you to team leaders. I suggest to create your own breakout rooms right now, and within your breakout rooms, don't forget to send me a link for the breakout rooms. Guys, in your respective breakout rooms, project leaders should be able to set up a let's just call this a demo Kanban board no, for exploration purposes. And this is graded by the way. So I hope na everyone will participate. Um by the way guys, this is just a browser based but if you have your phone right now, there's a application no in the play stores or mga stores, app stores that you can download. They have their own also native applications for this. So here's the thing that you will need to do. I hope you're looking at my screen right now. Um, again, this activity will be able to help us be informed, no, be aware within this Kanban environment no, using Trello. By the way, guys, if you are looking for another alternative, if it's okay, not for this time, kasi gusto ko lang kita na lahat yung four groups to be able to set up successfully a digital Kanban board. Okay? So all you need to do is just to create Trello account. Make sure to use our UIC Google account. If you have any Trello old accounts, tapos hindi UIC, I suggest to recreate or create another one. Make sure to use our UIC Google account. Next is by the group for the group leaders. I want you to create a new Trello personal board. You can browse where you can check that one and where you can create that one. And after you have created the personal board, invite your members. Na the entire members, invite them to be part collaborator for your particular board. And yan, include me. Kailangan andun ako sa board ninyo guys. As I said earlier, this will be your exam. And this will be some part of your exam. So I want you to make sure um, I want you to make sure that this board will be documented properly. Na? Baka matanong nyo, sir, akala ba namin demo lang? Actually, guys, I'll give you an option. No, I'll give you an option. Um, if the group wants to continue yung napili ninyo na application na ginawa natin dun sa usability inspection, kung anong app na napili nyo doon, the group can continue that. Ibig sabihin nun, you're done with your initial idea, no, may mga storyboard na rin kayo, may mga goals and tawag natin nun, case scenarios na kayo. So, 'di ba may nag-allot na kayo ng time dun eh. So, well, part of me suggesting that well, we still have three more weeks to go and baka matagalan kayo to think of another app. So, might as well to consider it, no, to continue it. Pero, you have still another option. Ito, I'll give you another option right now. Remember, I told you about competition. Yung para bang we will decide no, which among these up ideas will be excel, something like will excel, no, compared to another to other the rest of the applications. So if you really want to compete, well, don't take me wrong out of this, you all got grades naman at the end, no. What's for the competition all about is more of just a healthy competition. You just want to know no which among these up ideas na yun aside sa pinaghirapan, pinag-isipan, no they most likely ay we will be most likely looking at the no or mas ma-appreciate me dun sa hard work na gibutang ato nga application. So if you want to no to choose you have an option, no, whether to continue or not. If not, well, you're feel free to no create another fresh idea or scratch idea kasi may idea na kayo kung ano yung gina-pitch, kung ano yung gipili ng mga classmates ng other groups, even sa other section na grupo. So may idea na kayo nun, baka gusto nyo lamangan, something like that. You can just think of any other um, cool features, no? Uh, something like that. Na it will impress the evaluator. At the end of the day, the evaluators will be our most concern during the final exam. So 40% will be going to the Kanban board documentation. I will look at it, no? There will be also some part na personal. Sa pagtingin ko, wala masyadong activity yung member na yon, yung isang member niyo walang activity dun sa Kanban board. Most likely it will have a no it will reflect to his or her grade. That's the entire 40%. Now the 60% will be coming from the invited evaluator, so sa external evaluator. He or she will be able to no ask you to present a minimum viable product. So, ibig sabihin ko sa minimum viable product is kailangan yung application ay gumagana but not 100% functional. What I meant is you need to choose among those features. Dapat hanapin niyo yung feature na it can stand alone, no? It can stand alone to represent the entire app. Say for example, you have 10 features. Pili ka lang dun. Alam naman ng evaluator na hindi 100% yung application. Gusto lang nila makita how dedicated are you working on that application idea at saka gaano siya ka-importante sa society natin. No, how relevant is that to our environment. Yun, out of 10, pili kayo lang siguro mga tatlo. Talk to your programmer, sabihin nyo, programmer, these 3 core features kailangan andun, makikita dun sa final presentation o sa final demo. Ang mangyayari dun sa pito, sa for example, may pito kayo na naiwan na hindi niyo talaga nakaya, I suggest to still create a page for them. That means yung para bang it just parang static page lang, yung parang during the presentation you just need to explain na that would be a feature for this particular scenario. O however, with some time constraints, no? Yan, na-limit lang yung time natin for the development. If given more enough time, ganito yung magiging itsura niyan, sir or ma'am, something like that. So I hope you got me on that minimum viable product. Don't worry. No, don't be afraid on the MVP, yung minimum viable product na yan. Evaluators knows na you will be presenting a not perfect, no, na product, no, na working application. Did you get me on that? So kindly follow these steps, guys. Go proceed to your breakout rooms. I'll visit your breakout rooms later. Team leader, please lead your no your rest of the members. Follow these steps sa yan. Hintayin niyo ako dun sa breakout rooms niyo. If no questions, sige, proceed na kayo dun, guys. Start creating your Trello account. Cedric? In the meantime, you can continue yung app na napili ninyo from the three. Itong usability testing, usability inspection. By Wednesday, we'll talk about you need to decide whether to continue that towards the final or you need to create an application, new application. Sa Wednesday, malalaman natin yun. In the meantime, demo lang man to, so we'll just stick to the um, proposed ideas niyo. Are you done? Okay.